This week I travelled all the way up to Essex to go thrifting, and it was a little bit of a madness. I picked up some banging pieces. I started off at the top of the high street at this cancer research charity shop, and we started off pretty well. There were so many mad coats in this charity shop, starting off with this Fred Perry coat. It's a bit hard to see. I did block the frame a little bit. That is my bad. But then there was this barber coat behind it. Like, how am I finding a Fred Perry and a barber coat straight off the bat? And when you thought it couldn't get any better, it does. Then I found this North Face coat. If this was slightly cheaper, I would have definitely picked it up. I think it was like £39 though. So it put me off buying it a little bit, but literally behind that there was another barber coat. This barber coat was so nice, but once again, it was just so expensive. I've never seen as well a charity shop chain up items. That was another first. I then headed over to where the shirts and that were, where my coat is not blocking the frame as much, and I come across this weird like Fred Perry. It was almost like a smart overcoat. It was in a really nice grey, and I did heavily consider picking it up, but it was £20 and I didn't really like the buttons. I was going to buy it for personal if I was going to buy it, and yeah, as I said, didn't really like the buttons, so that's where that story ended. But after that charity shop, I had very high hopes for the rest of the charity shops. I was kind of disappointed I didn't come away with anything out of there, considering how many bangers were actually in there. But I headed down to literally the other end of the high street pretty much, into this British Heart Foundation shop. But as you can see, before I go in, there was a big market next door. There was a really sick vintage stand in there. He had so many sick items. He had Stone Island, True Religion, everything like that. So if you are in Cheltenham, in Essex, that market and that vintage like pop-up thing is definitely worth a visit. Like, there was so many sick stuff in there, and he's in there pretty much every day, I think he said. And as well, there's a really good place at the back, which I got some yogurt bananas. They were banging. But I headed into this British Heart Foundation shop and headed over to the back. They had 4 Ralph polos in this charity shop, 2 orange, 2 grey. Thought it was a bit interesting, like having duplicates of the same colour. Wonder if the same person who donated one donated both. I headed over to the coats in the hope that there was going to be a single coat like the last ones in the last charity shop, but no luck. That charity shop was a little dry overall, so I headed a long way out. This charity shop was weird shaped. It was really long, but really narrow at the same time. But I headed along to the Oxfam charity shop next. And this charity shop was packed. There was so much stuff in here. But the first thing I see was this Gap like spell out zip up jacket. I've been wanting to get a Gap zip up for ages now, but literally this was just battered. Like, it was absolutely destroyed. The condition really wasn't all there. There was a lot of fading on the red, so I didn't end up picking it up, unfortunately, but it was such a nice piece. Then I was going through the jeans and something caught my eye, and it was this like Disney tie. It was so cool, and it was only £2.99. The patterns on this was mad, and it had quite an old Disney tag on it, but I don't really think ties sell too well, because I've tried to sell them before, and I don't even think I got a like on the post. But then I headed over to where all like the shoes and the hats and everything like that was, and they had a lot of Tottenham like hats and scarves and everything like that. It's like someone had just dropped off their whole collection. Then I found these shoes, which I thought were quite cool. I thought they were going to be some sort of like weird designer or like low-key designer, but I think they might have just been like a Primark one. I thought they looked pretty sick though. I then had a look at the Gap jacket once again, because I was so torn on this jacket because it was so nice, but I didn't end up getting it. On my way home from Essex, I headed in this Eleanor charity shop, and this was where it got nuts. So I walk in the door, and literally the first item I come across is this like thick Levi's overshirt. Really nice, like red, white and black, like checkered look. It was a size large, so I'm not going to be able to keep it, which I am so gutted about. I wish it was my size. I then come across 2 more thick overshirts. This orange one to start with, weren't too keen on that. I don't know why. I think it was too much, and I think it was like a Primark one. I think it was about £6 for a Primark one, so I weren't really feeling it. But then I really liked the look of this black, white and purple one. The only thing that put me off was the pocket was really low. Like, the pocket would have come up about there on me. Like, when I was holding it up, I was thinking, why? I just don't get it. But then the first item that I come across on the second rail was this like Adidas track jacket. It was so nice, like a baby blue with the Adidas like spell out going across the front. You should have seen my eyes light up when I see this, and as soon as I stopped fully looking at this item, I clocked another Adidas jacket in this Adidas fleece, and oh, this is literally probably one of my favorite thrifting pickups ever, without a doubt. Like, this is such a nice jacket. This was a size large, so I was kind of scared it weren't gonna fit me, but when I got home I tried it on, and if not, it was the perfect fit. So you're definitely gonna see me soon wearing that in one of the thrifting videos, and I'm probably gonna be wearing it in real life all the time, especially with how cold it's been at the moment. This jacket is gonna come in so clutch. Then I started going through the t-shirts. The first t-shirt that I come across was a polo shirt, and it was this Reebok polo shirt. If you know me, you know I like Reebok. And then the second thing I come across was an Umbro polo. There was some sick stuff in this charity shop. Then I come across this red Nike, just like the Nike swoosh polo. I think it was about £7 or £8. I think that was the only thing that put me off. And I thought the Nike tag looked a little bit weird. Like, the letters were really squashed together and it just didn't look right. So I didn't want to buy it just in case it was fake. I ended up picking up all three of those items. That Levi's jacket is probably going to be in my Depop, and that Adidas jacket is going to be in my Depop. I'm keeping the fleece for myself, as I said. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to buy that off me. Then I headed into our next charity shop, and I come across a serious pair of dad shoes. If these were in an all grey, I probably would have considered picking them up. Weren't too keen on the blue accents though. That was the only thing that put me off. But then I come across this racing t-shirt. Thought it was really sick, but it was about £6 or £7 I think it was, and that's just too much for what it was. Maybe if you're picking it up for personal, it'd been worth it, but to sell on, nah, not so much. But there was, once again, so much designer in this charity shop. The first thing I come across was this Nike t-shirt. Didn't get it again because it was like £7. Maybe if it was summer, I would have considered it, but now not so much. And there was about 4 Gant polos in here as well, literally back to back. Then come across this really sick, like Ralph Lauren kind of like smart jacket style thing. I've got loads of them coming to my Depop soon, because I've got loads in an unboxing, which is also coming soon, which I think you should stay tuned for, because trust me, I got some banging bits in there as well. They also had these Puma shoes, which I really like the look of. They weren't really in too bad of a condition either, but they were £20, and I didn't really like them that much. I then come across this weird like knitted Gant like polo shirt. It was brand new as well. It was £20, so I wasn't going to be picking it up, but I found it interesting that it was that like knitted material. I come across this diesel overshirt as well in a really nice like blue and white. It was quite a thick one, but I just weren't really feeling it. Come across a Timberland shirt as well, which was quite nice, but it was just too expensive once again. Come across another new item in this Hugo Boss shirt, which was also really nice. I think it was about £20 though. It was originally 80, but once again, the pattern was a bit weird and I wasn't going to be able to sell it on for much, and it was way too big for me. I then come across this really sick, would you call it an Harrington jacket? Is that what you'd call it? With this like tartan inside. I really liked like the olive green of this. The only thing that put me off buying it was that it was a large and the arms looked really long. It would have been really all right in the body. It was just the arms. They just looked massive. I then come across an item which I was so gassed for, but also so disappointed for, because I knew it wasn't going to be able to fit me. And it was this Umbro like jacket. Oh, this Umbro jacket looks so sick. It had like the center Umbro logo. I did try and see if I was going to fit into it, and I was going to try and style it as a bit more of like an oversized thing, but it was too far to even be called oversized. It was just too big. But there were the charity shops that I went to, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to beat that Adidas jacket in things that I'm going to pick up. Even if I am, it's not going to be for a little while, I don't think.